Creating podcasts is all fun and games until you actually have to face the music and start promoting it. Now, if you are a big brand, this is probably no issue for you. You probably have a big audience already. But for the rest of us, how do we actually make it so that our podcasts get discovered a lot faster? That's what we're going to be talking about today in our video on podcast repurposing. So let's jump right in. So by way of a quick intro, my name is Karim Mustafa. I'm co-founder and CEO here at Chopcast. And basically, we've been helping brands repurpose their podcast episodes for several years at this stage. So I want to share with you a foolproof workflow that's been working for us internally, and hopefully it could be helping you as well. Just save a lot of time, especially as you start to wrap your head around how to make the most out of every episode. But before that, I just want to share some insights with you around why it's so important to actually start repurposing your podcast episodes. Now, there's research from Buzzsprout that came out in May of 2022, very similar to when we're recording this video, that says that there's currently 2.4 million podcasts out there. And I expect this number to continue growing. The fact that we're seeing new podcasts pop up every single day is giving us proof that, there's no signs of slowing down for that podcast movement going on. So if we're creating podcasts, and as I said earlier, if we're already ranking very high, then we don't have any issues with that. But the challenge for most of us is how do we actually get to that top 10 page? How do we actually stay top of mind for the people that we are trying to engage? And that's really where podcast repurposing comes in, because it actually helps us to make our content a lot more accessible on a lot of different platforms, and in the same time to sort of just suit the lifestyle of different people, depending on whether they have a quick minute, depending on whether they prefer to read something before they actually listen to the podcast episode, or maybe they just want to watch a couple of clips before being drawn to the full episode once again. So I'll walk you through a workflow of how I've been doing it with my team, and hopefully it could be helpful for you as well. So let's jump right in. All right, so the first thing you need to do is basically create a free Chopcast account. Once you're in, you can go to new and upload video. And over here, you'll be able to add a YouTube link to your podcast or just upload it from your computer. So today we're going to be using a video podcast for today's example. Now, the whole idea of Chopcast is that once you upload it, you'll get a lot of automatically repurposed assets that you could use right away. And we'll walk you through some of the things that you could get right away from this today. So the first thing that's almost habitual for me is I just look at the video and I try, if it's originally a video podcast and I want to get an audio extract from it, a very quick way to do so is to just download the MP3 of it. And then from there, I could edit and tweak it further if I wanted to, or if it's already edited up and ready to go, I could just take that, put it up on Anchor or put it up wherever my podcasts live. The next thing that I could do is basically download the text file, and using this text file, the transcript file of the video, I could basically take that and rework it into an SEO optimized blog post. So normally what we would do is we would just take that text transcript, we would paste it into a Google Doc, and then we would start to identify the key points or the main points and kind of use those as headers or H2 tags over here. And then we would basically rework or sort of remix the transcript to create paragraphs. Now, what we're looking at over here is still crude. It has not yet been developed, but this is just a quick example to show you what you could do with it. Now, once you have the article ready to go, or even with the transcript, the third thing that you can do is you can actually take out quotes that you could then use to create quote cards for your social media. Now, you may have come across this one before, and honestly, the simplest way to do it, or one simple way to do it, is to just go to Canva and come up with a quote card template that is on brand for your podcast, and basically just pick out the quotes and paste them this way. This makes it a lot easier for you and perhaps anybody else that you might be delegating this to into the future to create quote cards at scale very, very easily. All right, now I want to show you two things that you could do in terms of getting meaningful video clips out of Chopcast without using a lot of different tools. So basically, once you upload the video to Chopcast, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes for Chopcast to actually watch the video, and it will actually automatically create auto-generated clips based on the key moments that it picked up. So from there, you can actually take these clips as is and simply download them, or of course, you can edit them further. So in this example, I could basically see this specific clip over here. I could preview it, and then if I'm happy with it, I could take it as is, or if I wanted to tweak the start and end time, I would be able to do so over here, and it will always, the subtitles will always adjust to the specific clip that you've selected. And then from there, I could add things like additional text layers or branding depending on what I want the clip to do on what social platform. So if I'm looking for any specific keywords over here, I'd be able to search for those here. So I'll just think of, if I typed in innovation, for example, it'll say, right, if you're looking to create a clip around the topic of innovation, here's a couple of different segments that you might want to check out, which again helps to save a ton of time versus me trying to watch the full video in that regard. But the fifth and final idea that I wanted to share with you is that especially if you have a podcast which is a conversation between two or more people, you could actually use the speaker filter over here, which will automatically map out who is speaking when. So most classically, it would be maybe a question and an answer. So you could actually use that to your advantage to create clips based on the answers, perhaps that the expert was giving. And then you can just add text banners over here that would have the question that was asked before the answer was given. And you can just have that text banner playing throughout the clip. And in this way alone, you could probably create so many different clips based on the different answers and the questions that were asked, again, without having to skim through the video. So these were just a couple of ideas on how you could take podcast repurposing and really build a workflow into it that you could apply for yourself or even delegate to others in your team. So hopefully you've gotten some ideas from today that will improve your process or at least get you to think differently about your current process. But nevertheless, I'd love to hear from you about what you're currently doing to repurpose your podcast episodes so that we can keep learning from each other. And of course, if there's anything that I covered today that you want me to cover in a bit more detail that maybe I didn't go too much into detail into today, please do let me know so that we can plan a video for that. Or if you have any questions around content repurposing in general, do let us know in the comments so that we can plan for that as well. And if you are new here, please do consider subscribing and liking so that you don't miss out on the future videos that we'll create. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. Hope you guys are having a great one and I'll see you in the next video.